What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Latin Explaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For those who do not know me, for those who do, welcome once again. I know I've been a stranger. I see that MK, Jose, and Morena already started the chat. If you're catching this on the replay because I've been absent forever, welcome again, guys. It's such a pleasure to be back after a week full of love. I hope everybody has had an amazing Valentine's Day. And I had a Valentine's week, because I'm extra and MK is extra as well. So I was gone. I mean, this whole month has been a roller coaster. I see that more people are coming in. Make sure that you hit that like button. Even if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit the like button, guys, so that this can get to more and more people. I see that Risa Rom is here. Rakim is here. What's up, Rakim? Guys, today we have an amazing show. I've been putting a lot of things together for you guys today because we're going to talk mainly about the situation in Haiti. But before we talk about that, there's a lot of things happening right now in La Española. Like Bad Bunny will say with El Alfa, La Española está más prendida que Dubai. There's a lot of stuff happening in the DR and Haiti that we're gonna talk about it today. I'm gonna take my time because I know I might do like a little bit of overtime because I know I've been absent. And I must say, before I start everything, you guys know it has been so dry without me. It has been drier than a white woman's chicken. If you think it has been dry, put a number one in the chat. If you think I'm just full of myself, put a number two. But definitely, guys, like I said, as you come in, hit that like button or dislike. We're an equal opportunist out here. So if you like or dislike my content, make sure to make your voice heard and hit whatever button you see fit. Now, guys, without any further ado, let's start talking about what I wanted to share with you guys. But before we get to Haiti, we're going to start going to what's happening in the DR with President Abinader. Basically, I don't know if you guys have kept in touch with my Instagram, but basically, President of the DR, Abinader, last year, he basically stated that he was going to start building um, a wall. I think he drank some of that Trump juice, and he decided to build a wall between the border of Haiti and the DR. So basically, he made his promise, and now the construction started yesterday. As of this morning, they are already covering, and they announced that they're covering half of what it is the border. Now, I know a lot of people have sent me messages today. There is already a wall in the border. Let me tell you something. The border. I don't know if you guys have ever been at the border between Haiti and the DR. I've seen parts of it when I was a medical cadet, had the opportunity to go to Porto Principe after the earthquake that happened in 2008. And hi, Terrell. To be honest with you, that's not a wall. That's basically like little patches of a wall that has like a lot of openings where people can come through. I see that a lot of people are putting number ones in the chat. Yeah, you guys know it has been dry, of course. I know it, y'all know it. So basically now, the border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic, it's 160 miles wide, but President Abinader is only going to cover half of that. So it's going to be 80 miles long, and in the most critical spaces in the Haiti and the DR's border, he's going to double fence in order to slow down Haitian illegal migration to come into the country, because there's a lot of things happening in Haiti that's provoking a lot of illegal migration into the Dominican Republic, seeking a better life for their families and themselves. But that also has brought crime into the DR, unfortunately, among other many other things. Now, One thing that has been many people actually support. What's up, JS? Many people support President Abinader in this move, but they have expressed also there's a lot of contradicting views when it comes to this, because there's a lot of people that don't know that in the DR, the main problem is not just the wall issue, it's the fact that you have a lot of guards and policemen, police officers being underpaid. That's the same problem that we're seeing in Mexico. And when you don't pay the people that are supposed to enforce the law, you don't pay them a proper wages. What happens is that they will find other ways with the authority and power that they have to actually compensate for the money that they don't make. That exactly is what we're seeing in Mexico with La Mordida, which is something I explained like when I was talking about the two teenagers that were in prison in Mexico from Puerto Rico. But basically, what happens in the DR is that these guards and police officers guarding the border, what they do is that they get paid under the table some extra money, and then they smuggle Haitians into the DR. On top of that, you have the Chancellor of Migration, Lozano, that many people say that he's pro Haitian because he has said it many times. And basically, he's selling visas like literally like Skittles. He's giving them all out if you bring him money. Now, there's a lot of people that are definitely in favor of this wall. They think it's going to be something that's going to work out. Let me know if you're catching the replay, or if after this you want to express your opinion in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this whole thing about this wall and this situation happening with the crisis at the border of DDR and Haiti. Now, speaking of Haiti and the DR, oh my God, there's so many things that I want to dissect. But basically, one thing that has surfaced in this past week, and it intensified during this weekend, is that many garment workers for Hanes, Dockers, Levi's, all of these things, and this is something that I think not a lot of Americans know, but all of these things that you can purchase at Target, Walmart, and whatnot gets manufactured either in the DR or mainly Haiti. And one of the reasons why Hanes, Levi's, and all this uh, cotton undergarments are so cheap is because they cost cents to be made. Okay, so one of the things that people have experienced, and we're seeing it in Canada, we're seeing it in Australia, we're seeing it in Venezuela, we're seeing it everywhere. Hi, Christina. One of the things that we're seeing all around the world right now is that people are feeling the inflation that all of the lockdowns and all of the COVID relief brought after the fact. We predicted this last year when we saw that the Federal Reserve was printing money left and right, devaluing the cost of the dollar. And the same happened in the UK. The same is happening in Australia, New Zealand, and so on. So, of course, Haiti is going to suffer as well. If people don't know this, because for a lot of years, people kept saying that Africa was the poorest country in the world. Well, let me tell you that Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the world. Right now, in an unprecedented turn of events, Venezuela is winning over Haiti, because in Venezuela, the average income for a person is $2 per month. In Haiti, you can make at least $5 per day. So basically, a lot of these garment makers decided to take to the streets, and police, as usual, because I still have not found a group of police officers or any police in the world that doesn't support and protect the oligarchs and the corporations and whatnot. So of course, police are tear gassing these people that are protesting for the end of starvation wages, but they're still there. And to give you guys a little bit more of contrast as to what is going on and what are the starvation wages we're talking about, Basically, a Haitian worker for all these companies, they work 9 hours a day and they earn $5 per day. Now, according to inflation, uh, they're demanding right now $15 per day, not per hour, per day. Why? Because the cost of living in Haiti used to be $7 per day on average, and they're making five. So now it has risen to $12 per day in average. That's the cost of living in Haiti today. So they need $15 per day, and I think that is fair. So I'm gonna show you guys a little video that I found about like the protest. It seems really charismatic in my opinion. How the workers are uprising and what's happening. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit so you guys can see.
From the factory floor to the streets of the Haitian capital, these workers from an industrial park in Port-au-Prince are demanding a raise to the minimum wage. Fatil Joseph says he can barely survive on his income.
We take to the streets to protest and make our voices heard, especially with the international community because we live in poverty. There is no government that thinks of us.
Many of these people work to make textiles and clothing that get sold at large-scale retailers in the US and other countries. They say they are paid less than $5 a day for 9 hours of work. They're demanding the equivalent of 15. An inflation rate of around 20% in the country is a major concern. Workers say they spent half their salary to pay for transportation just to go to work.
We are launching the movement to demand the government listen to our voices so that it can adjust the minimum wage. We have made some steps and sent letters to them. They have never heard us.
The protest began last week, and on Thursday the police again used tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the demonstration. Factory workers used burning tires to block the roads.
We're protesting peacefully with sticks. The police are abusing us. We do not consider them as police. We consider them as gangs.
Haiti is in the middle of a political and social crisis since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Gangs control large sectors of the capital, and violence and kidnappings are widespread.
Now, you guys already saw, like, for the most part, what I was talking about. And to be honest with you, the fact that we're here again, I don't know if you guys know a lot about the history of Haiti and their manufacturing, but I'm going to take you guys there. Like, there was a point in history, not recent history, we're talking about 2009, 2011, where hi Blood Moon, it's been a while. I mean, I know I've been absent, but I hope you're doing good. But going back to what I was saying, there was a point in 2011, 2009, from 2009 to 2011, I'm sorry, where Haitian garment workers were also demanding their wages to be raised. Now, when you read articles from the Haitian Parliament, the article, specifically Article 137, it establishes, according to Haitian law, that depending on the inflation in the country, because this is such a chronically poor country, that depending on the inflation percentage, wages have to match that inflation in order for people to not starve. There was a point where we from America intervened into this whole thing with Haiti in the past, and I'm gonna break it down for you so you guys can see basically what I am talking about. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. So this was before they achieved the almost $5 per day. This was, as you guys can see, this was in June 1st, 2011. We're talking about 11 years ago, that this issue has been prevalent for so long. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. But it says WikiLeaks. I don't know if you guys remember like Julian Assange and all the problems with the WikiLeaks and stuff when they try to kill him for leaking a lot of information and emails from the State Department and whatnot. But Let's concentrate on this issue. It says WikiLeaks on Haiti. Let them live on $3 a day. The U.S. Embassy aided Levi's, Haynes, and contractors in their fight against an increase in Haiti's minimum wage. Now, I'm going to stop real quick over here. You might think that Levi's, Haynes, and Dockers and all these companies are fighting a minimum wage of like $25 an hour. You might think that that's what they're fighting, but I'm going to take you exactly through the numbers so you guys can see exactly how much of, because we love to say that slavery has ended, but America enslaves the rest of the world. And this is just another piece of proof that that is what basically America does. So it says contractors from for Fruit of the Loom, Haynes, and Levi's worked in close concert with the U.S. Embassy when they aggressively moved to block a minimum wage increase for Haitian assembly zone workers, which is basically garment workers, the lowest paid in the hemisphere, according to the Secret State Department cables. It says the factory owners, that's basically Haynes, Levi's, and all these companies, told the Haitian parliament that they were willing to give workers a 9 cents per hour increase to 31 cents per hour to make t-shirts, bras, and underwear for U.S. clothing giants like Dockers and Nautica. Okay, so basically, if they were increasing to 31 cents and what they were paying extra is 9 cents, can somebody tell me in the chat how much they were paying workers an hour? 22 freaking cents an hour. That's what Haitians were doing per hour for American companies in Haiti. 22 cents an hour. Make that make sense. And they were fighting to not to pay them 31 measly cents an hour. But what they wanted was 62 cents per hour. And they were refusing to pay 62 cents an hour. So it says, but the factory owners refused to pay 62 cents per hour or $5 per day as a measure unanimously passed by the Haitian parliament in June 2009 would have mandated. And that's basically Article 137. And they had the vigorous backing of the U.S. Agency for International Development and the U.S. Embassy when they took that stand. So basically, the U.S. was, and I'm going to get to the person that specifically was doing this, the U.S., through the State Department and the U.S. Embassy, was actually pushing down on keeping the minimum wage lower for Haitians in 2011. And that is the same thing that they're trying to do now to protect American corporations from paying 62 cents per hour to Haitian workers. Now it says, to resolve the impasse between the factory owners and the parliament, the State Department urged quick intervention by the Haitian president at that point, Rene Preval. So basically, the State Department, aka Hillary Clinton, at that point urged, and you guys know what that means in America, urging. When you urge a president, basically they stuck their thumb in his eye to actually intervene into what was happening. Now it says 2 months later, Preval negotiated a deal with Parliament to create a two-tier minimum wage increase. So basically, we're not going to give you the increase right now. We're going to do it in steps, as if people could afford a living. So basically, one for the textile industry at about $3 per day, and one for all other industrial and commercial sectors at about $5 per day. Still, the U.S. Embassy wasn't pleased at $5 per day and $3 per day. They weren't pleased. A deputy chief of mission, David E. Linwall, said the $5 per day minimum did not take economic reality into account. Now, I don't know how much do you guys can guess that, hi Ramon, what's up? How much do you guys can guess that Levi is worth, that they say that $5 to pay $5 to the people that made their clothes, $5 per day, was not an economic reality. Okay, we're talking about a company that makes per year $5.5 billion. Look it up yourself. $5.5 billion, and you cannot pay $5 per day to your workers, and the US Embassy and the Secretary of State with freaking Hillary Clinton is backing you up. And then we wonder why Haitians are coming here and we're whipping them. This is what I keep saying all the time when we're talking a lot of crap about, oh, like how we're the greatest countries in the world and there's strength in numbers. How's that working out for the Haitians? And let's not get too far, because the same thing is being implemented in the DR. The same thing is being implemented in the DR. It's the same thing happening. American corporations go in there, want to pay all the workers starvation wages, even in their countries, to their standards. Those are starvation wages below the living costs of that nation, which is pretty low, and then complain as if they're peasants. A company that makes $5 billion per year is acting like peasants that cannot pay? Miss me with the BS. Miss me with the BS. So let's continue down to what we're talking about. And he said, basically, but was a populist measure aimed at appealing to the unemployed and the underpaid masses. Haitian advocates of the minimum wage argue that it was necessary to keep pace with inflation and alleviate the rising cost of living. As it is, Haiti is the poorest country in the hemisphere, and the World Food Program estimates that as many as 3.3 million people in Haiti, a third of the population, are food insecure. In April 2008, Haiti was rocked by the so-called Clorox food riots, named after the hunger so painful that it felt like bleach in your stomach. Now imagine that you live in a country that's so poor that a third of the country cannot know where the next meal is going to come from, and they can starve for up to 28 days, and you have companies making out of their backs $5 billion, but they are scraping through like peasants, telling these workers, suck it up, because we cannot pay that. We're broke. We're peasants. We have no money. Imagine the audacity, the nerve of telling these people that literally starve for weeks at a time that they cannot pay them any money because they are broke. The audacity, the nerve. But let's continue, because I can't promise you it gets better. So it says, according to a 2008 worker rights consortium study, a family of one working member and two dependents needed at least 550 Haitian gourdes, or $12.50 per day, to meet normal living expenses. Now, what is $12.50 per day? We make literally 3 times that in an hour here in America. When was the last time that a Hanes product was under $12? I can't recall. Let's continue. The revelation of U.S. support for low wages in Haiti's assembly zones was in a trove of 1,918 cables made available to the Haitian weekly newspaper, Haiti Liberté, by transparency group WikiLeaks. As part of collaboration with Haiti Liberté, the nation is publishing English language articles based on those cables. So basically, what was found in WikiLeaks was written in French, but then thanks to the nation to actually make this known to the rest of the world, that it was published out of literally almost 2,000 documents that were made available for the Haitian newspaper. They were translated to back to English. It says in an email statement, the State Department, Hillary Clinton, declined to comment on the disclosures in this article, citing a policy against commenting on documents that purport to contain classified information, and stating that, listen to this, strongly condemns any illegal disclosure of such information. So, in other words, Hillary Clinton was telling people that she was not going to comment on anything simply because it was classified information. Okay. And it was illegal to let the world know that they're starving to death millions of Haitian workers. That was classified information. I'm not saying this. This is literally what is on WikiLeaks. That's what she basically responded. And if you don't believe me, like I said, this article is from 2011. Who was the State Department secretary from 2009 2013? Miss Hillary Clinton. So it's illegal to let the world know that she wanted these people to continue to starve to death. And then she had the audacity, and this is my problem with many people today that keep going to the quote unquote Democratic Party, claiming that if you don't vote for them, you're a sexist, you're racist, you're everything that's ist. This is the disgusting things that this party does. And then they come at you smiling, asking you for your damn vote. They're not getting my vote. I didn't vote it for her. But if you voted for her, shame on you. We knew all along this woman is a criminal. This is criminal behavior. How do you freaking sleep at night knowing you're starving kids to death? Millions of freaking kids, adults, mothers, fathers that are working, you're starving them to death to defend big corporations to make them richer than they already are. Blood Moon says, you can't compare Haiti to the U.S. That will be over 1,200 a day in Haitian money. It depends how much they need for their monthly expenses. They're demanding $15 per day, Blood Moon. They're not demanding our wages. They're not demanding our wages. They're demanding $15 for 9 hours of work. And in that time, they were demanding $5 measly per day. And Hillary said, that's too much. Let them starve. That's not... that doesn't sound like Marie Antoinette to y'all. Like, let them eat cake. Does that doesn't ring like the same way to you guys? Because it does to me. It rings kind of the same way. Let them live on $3 per day. Let them eat cake. It kind of sounds the same way. Why? Because these people don't care. These people, in all honesty, could care less. And then they come at you and ask for your vote. And you give it to them because, unfortunately, in the country that we live, we don't read enough. Blumund says, I don't believe Hillary said that at all. People are always making things up about her. Well, she was the State Department secretary. This is not made up stuff. You can look at, I'm literally presenting to you the articles. She literally said that that was an illegal disclosure of such information. I see that Robert is here. What's up, Robert? And Robert says, imagine if Haiti has oil like Venezuela or the countries in the Middle East. Yeah. That's basically what I am talking about. But then people love her. I don't know why, because I mean, if it quacks like a dog and looks like a dog, the possibilities of being a dog are real, 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 real. But people want to keep voting these people in. That's why I will never vote these people in, because their hands are stained with so much blood. So much blood, so much insanity and craziness. This is the people we're voting for. And I think it's time that I know that I don't only speak to Latinos, even though my platform mainly it's like a Latino perspective on issues. But I know I speak to a lot of Americans that love my content and support me very much. But literally, this is the reason why Americans pay a greater price in other countries that they visit, because this is the image of Americans over there. And even though I don't believe Americans are this way, these are the people that Americans keep voting for. And it's time that people start opening their eyes. This is what's going on right now. And I'm pretty sure Haitians are not going to get shit. If you think Haitians are going to get their $15 per day, put a number one in the chat. If you think they're going to lowball them into $9 or probably $8 per day, then put a number two, because I think this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, to be honest with you. It's something that it's disgusting to me. It's super disgusting, and I know I'm going on a rant about it, but I mean, come on. How much can these people take? I see that Jose says, I meant $1.67 per hour for a 9-hour day. Absolutely. And they think that's too much, Jose, that they should get less. They think, and by they, I mean these people in power things, that Haitians deserve 31 cents per hour. And they should shut up and starve, shut up and die. That's what they're telling Haitians. Shut up and die. Shut up and starve. That's your place. And if you dare to come to our country, even though we're fucking you in the ass, sorry for my French, even though we're fucking you in the ass, if you dare to come here, I'm gonna whoop you and send you the hell back. I see that Rakim says probably two, but they should keep pushing they should keep pushing, of course. I think there should be an uprising bigger than the one that we've seen. I see that Blood Moon says, I thought the article said they were offering $12.50. What did the article say about that amount? No, they're not offering them $12.50. They want them to stay at $5 per hour, Blood Moon. That's what they want. They don't want to give them anything. That's why they're taking it to the streets. I see that Robert says President Abinader has been spending time with Trump and the Republicans. He's building that wall to trap them in the country and let them starve. Absolutely. You know what's crazy, Robert? Now that you say that, I think that President Abinader, I mean, okay, I don't think he's wrong for building a wall. Okay, I am so sorry. I don't think he's wrong for building a wall. You are going to protect your own. But I think President Abinader knows what's coming, though. That's why he's building the wall. I don't know if you guys catch my drift. He knows what's coming. These things that are happening right now in Haiti are just the tip of the iceberg. These people are really freaking starving. And now with the wall, it's going to be even worse. Blood Moon says, okay, in the States, the least amount they will pay is $64 a day. I think at least 20 will be fine. Yeah, but I mean, imagine, Blood Moon, if they don't want to even pay them $8, $10, $15 a day. Imagine if you say 20, they will come after you with rubber bullets, Blood Moon. We will have to go get you and protect you. Oh my God. This is insane. This is insane. Robert says, I think he wants to avoid the calamity. Yeah, absolutely. He can literally see the writing in the wall. And like I said, I am not going to get mad at Abinader because you're going to protect your home. You can't help others if your home is falling apart. And make no mistakes, Haynes, Levi, Dockers, and Nautica, they're doing the same thing to Dominicans. It's just Dominicans have different laws, so they have to pay a little bit more. But they're still starving Dominicans. Make no freaking mistakes. The garment industry in the DR, Haiti, and even Mexico is based on starvation wages. You can't make a freaking living out of that. Okay? So these people want to say, oh, I can't afford to pay these people $1 a day. I'm broke, while making $5 billion out of them. Now I see that Rakim says, let's keep it real. Haiti has been set up to fail. Not all, but a lot of its problems come from Haiti being the first Black republic. Its other problems come from corruption. Abso-freaking-lutely. It's kind of like the same rhetoric that a lot of people say about how Cuba failed because of Fidel. I personally don't think so. I personally think that the fact that America put sanctions on Cuba was what sunk Cuba in the position that Cuba is today. The thing is, like, when you're starving and desperate, you're going to blame Fidel. Because, well, if you see us starving, then, do something about it. And let's keep it real. I mean, I have some sort of respect for Fidel Castro, but at the same time, we all know he kind of deceived the military and the people that believed in him at the beginning. He kind of like lied to them, So definitely, it's not like he said the truth from the beginning. He told them one thing, and then all of a sudden, when he won in his 41st attempt to overthrow the U.S. out of Cuba, he changed the muñequitos a little bit. Okay? But those sanctions came because the U.S. could not have a socialist country thrive 90 miles away from Florida. That is the truth. I know a lot of people are gonna hate what I'm saying because, of course, you might be connecting your feelings because you feel some type of way about Cuba, but that's literally what that's literally what we're seeing in Cuba. It's the same thing that we're seeing in Venezuela. If the U.S. doesn't intervene in Venezuela, doesn't impose any sanctions and whatnot, Venezuela will be a rich country like it was in the 90s. But we can have that because if we show the socialism works to Americans, then we got a problem. You feel me? Because then Americans are going to start asking for that. I see that Blood Moon says Abinader needs to take care of his people. It is impossible for a poor country to give jobs to its people and so many illegals. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the DR is not a rich country. You're not going to, no vas a vestir un santo para vestir al otro. I'm not going to take the food from my kids to feed other kids that are poor on the street, because then who's going to feed my kids? So I understand the DR on this. I see that Ramon says, not sanctions, an embargo, which is worse. Absolutely. Absolutely. I see that Blood Moon says the Haitian government should be removed and the U.S. should take over the country. No, I don't think so. They don't need the U.S. So what? So they can become like us, like Puerto Rico? I know. Trust me, I'll starve to death. I'll starve to death. I'll literally starve to death. So no, definitely, I believe that we should just start waking up. And the only way, because I also have to understand people out here don't have the time nor the energy to defend people from overseas. But one thing that I want to close this topic, because I don't want to keep it like too long, is that we have to start being more responsible for the image that we put out there and the people that we put in power, because that's what backfired for a lot of Americans when they started visiting South America and start getting kidnapped. And it's the same thing that we're seeing in Mexico when they're starting to get kidnapped. They get kidnapped for a reason. Now, MK says, Blood Moon, if that's the case, then the US will take the DR eventually. Absolutely. The US is greedy as hell. Blood Moon says, yeah, so they can be like PR. It will be a lot better than the government they have now. Haitians don't have the power to do it on their own. They have the power to do it on their own. Oh my God. We can, that's another video, Blood Moon. That's another video. And you don't want the US to intervene with anything that you do. Trust me. Oh my God. I see that Ramon says, Blood Moon, there's already barely a government. The US make it a colony is not it. Yeah, Ramon and me understand what it is to belong to the US and be the US's bitch. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. Okay? No one should be the US's bitch. And I'm sorry if you don't like cursing, then go to another channel. But that's the way I feel, you know? Nobody should be US's bitch. It's not a pretty thing. I see that Johnny says, I think the US should not take over Haiti. I agree. And Robert says, look at countries once the US intervenes. It's not pretty. Absolutely. They will destroy the country. That's what the US does. Blood Moon says, the DR belongs to the US already. They own most things. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of things in the DR that don't belong to Dominicans anymore. It's sad. Rakim says, it's gonna have to be more bloodshed in Haiti. They're gonna have to take out their government. Yeah, I think, you know what's the problem with that? Is that every time that Haitians uprise and overthrow stuff and they're forming something really cool, here it comes. It's like the US is this way. And it's this way with everybody. I just talked about Nicaragua like a few months ago. Every time. Have you guys remember when you were at daycare and you were playing very quietly with your Legos, building a beautiful castle or like a Star Wars planet and whatnot? And then comes this stupid ass kid that has the best Legos. You have the shit Legos, the ones that are orange and yellow and they don't match and they're like two little pieces and stuff. So you managed to form something with that. And then the kid that has all the cool Legos with faces and stuff has a car built in Legos, flaming fumes and everything. But because you formed something cool with yours, that kid comes to you and kicks it over, so you have to start over. And then you get all messed up with the pieces. That's the US with all the countries surrounding the DS and the US and the Americas. That's basically what happens. Blumon says, I believe that all countries in Americas already have to answer to the most powerful country, which is the US. Yeah, in a certain way, absolutely. Absolutely. Because look, and I don't have a problem with that. My problem is don't do backdoor bullshit. If you want us, and that's why I keep saying to the slow tap and Hispano tap sector, if you're going to get fucked in the ass by the American empire, at least demand that they marry you, aka US citizenship. If you're going to fuck me in the ass, you need to marry me first. I'll give it to you, but you gotta do something. Otherwise, you try to come to my country, I'ma fuck you. That's the problem when we actually start thinking and listening to stupid people. Stupid people that think that because we keep having babies and marrying and believing in the three roots in the Catholic Church, that all our problems are solved. If you are pro unification with the American empire, I support your ideal, but demand something in return. If you're against it, then prepare to work. Whichever ideal, You have to work for it. But you can't be in the middle like a freaking sissy saying, oh my God, we're 700 million people. Yeah, which 600 million of them are fucking starving and broke as hell. Look at Ramon is like so vulgar. Yeah, it's I've been watching Yailin La Mas Viral too much. Okay, so like I said, it's something that it's just so crazy. It's so crazy that we have so many people that don't understand the simple concept of what's happening with Latin America and the American Empire. Look at empires in the past. The Roman Empire, they owned Spain for 700 years. Did Spaniards have some kind of privilege at least? Absolutely. Learn how to trade. This is the importance of reading. This is the importance of educating yourself. This is the importance of stop nitpicking at each other. Instead of just going against each other, go against your problem. Blood Moon is like, this is getting ratchet. Yeah, it's bringing the Evie Queen out of me. But literally, this is the problem that I have with the tech sector. These people don't know how to trade. These people don't know how to do business. These people don't know anything about nation building. They don't know anything. So America can come in and assault us at any time, and they don't have to give us anything. And if you dare to come to their country, they'll kick you out and send you to el carajo. And we deserve that. Why? Because we don't want to do anything to better our situation. And I know there's going to be butthurt motherfuckers coming for me for saying that. But guess what? I don't care. It's time that somebody tells y'all this is the problem. And I know a lot of people that are listening right now agrees with what I'm saying. If you're not going to do anything for your country, then demand something for yourself and for your children. Because this is not going to stop. And you cannot blame the Americans for this. They know how to play. And because you're acting like a freaking coward, you don't want to play. Learn how to play. I think I should make a t-shirt about that. Learn how to play. I see that Rakim says, some people don't want to be educated. That's too much work. Damn it. We as whole rather let the media educate us. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something so freaking crazy. I don't understand. I don't freaking understand. Then we want to come here. Look, I don't know if you guys have seen the rats going into the bucket with fucking peanut butter on the top. None of them lick any peanut butter, but they all went into the freaking bucket. Okay? But that's Latin America. And I'm going to speak from my Puerto Rican side. I know I've heard so many slow taps and Hispano taps and all these idiot taps. Oh, I mean, look at you guys. You guys are stupid because you guys are, as Puerto Ricans, don't have nothing. And America's doing this, this, and that. Well, motherfucker, at least we're married to it. Yeah, we are America's bitch, but at least we're the married bitch. We're the house bitch. You're the side chick. When are we going to be, as a whole, the house bitch? At least demand that. Literally, at least demand that. I see the bro taps here, idiot taps. Yeah, at least demand to be the house bitch. Because at least as Puerto Ricans, we can say, we're the house bitch. We're the house bitch. We get federal funding. Yes, we have to pay taxes of the ass. But if we want to come here, we can fucking come here. We don't have to go through nothing. We don't have to purchase a visa. We don't have to do nothing. We just have to take a fucking plane. Demand something from your hard work. Learn how to trade. Learn how to do something. Stop being a fucking victim. Brotep says, yeah, the side bitch complaining about not getting wifey privileges. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine a side chick that's making fun of the wife, the house bitch, telling them, "Oh my God, you have to live with the husband fucking you in the ass every day," and the house bitch literally lives in the match. And the side bitch is working in the plantation in the sun, living in hoods, and doesn't get food every day. She gets the scraps. And if she tries to get into the house, she gets thrown out by the husband. But then she has the audacity to tell the house bitch that she's a house bitch. That's how a lot of these idiot taps look. Try to achieve that status. Because if you don't, then you're gonna have to come up with something that's a fucking masterpiece. Look at Blumone is like, ew, why it has to be the ass? Well, I mean, come on, it doesn't feel the best. And I'm just stating facts out here. At least. And a lot of people also love to put down the Haitians for their pride. Man, but at least these people are fucking working. They're no one's bitch. They're no one's bitch. Yeah, they might starve. They're eating mud cookies. They are living on their starvation wages, but guess what? They're no one's bitch. I'm just saying. If you're gonna be no one's bitch, then you better put the work. Put in the damn work. Come up with something majestic. I agree with Bro Tap. I see 16 people out here, but not 16 likes. If you want me to do overtime, then you're gonna have to hit the like button or the dislike button. I don't care. Like I said, this is a equal opportunist channel. Like or dislike, don't care. So yeah, guys, that's basically what's happening down in Haiti. One of the richest corporations in America, making $5 billion just from one brand per year. They're too broke. There's peasants that they cannot pay a measly $12 or $15 per day to their workers. I would say, Blumund says, what about the elite who live in Haiti? Aren't they the Polish descendants who own everything? Well, to be honest with you, the elites never amount to any type of change. It's like the elite here, the 1%ers. The 1%ers that are fucking us Americans in the ass. Are they coming down here to give us the 7% of the inflation money that we had to come up with? No, they don't give a shit. They're rich. They're rich. They don't care. Rizzo Ramirez, Haiti is the strong, independent woman that don't need no man. Yeah, yeah. Haiti is like that feminist. That's like, I'd rather break my body working. Fuck you. It's that Instagram model chick. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, it's something that, and I want to close the statement because I have something else to share with you guys. the next time that you, it's time for us to get a little bit smarter also, on where to put like our money. Every time that you purchase these products, look up what they're doing overseas. Look up what they're doing with your money, and stop buying those things. Because I know a lot of people feel like this is one of the most disgusting uh, famine and indirect genocide that we are seeing from corporations that run this country. And it feels sometimes as if we cannot do anything because these are like big people with large bucks. But it's also our responsibility to stop, you know, being patrons of these people. Okay? Without our money, they cannot do anything. Let's starve them of our money for a little bit. Next time you're gonna buy a pair of boxers, don't buy fucking Levi's, Hanes, Dockers, or fucking Nautica. Buy something else. Buy something else. Don't buy none of these freaking brands until they pay Haiti and Haitians what they deserve. At least that's what I plan on doing. MK is gonna get any different brand. I'd rather buy New Balance boxers for him than buy this stuff. This is disgusting. I am disgusted. And Brotep says, no, Blood Moon. Foreigners own everything over there. Plus, any aid money goes to the Clintons and corrupt black officials there. Whatever little money is left gets strong armed by the gangs. Absolutely. Brotep, I would have loved for you to jump in because I talked about this earlier. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about how Hillary Clinton in 2011, when she was the State Department secretary, was fighting to keep the minimum wage lower for Haitians, over lower than 31 cents per hour. So if you're willing to come up, let me know. I'll put a number one in the chat since we're doing overtime. Put a number one in the chat. I'll put the link in there just for Brotep. But in all honesty, it's something that it doesn't surprise me to a degree, because we've seen how gross this is. We saw it with the 2008 earthquake. We saw it. Look at Radical. Radical says, speak for yourself. I like my name brand stuff. Oh, come on. Levi, Hanes, and all this stuff is not name brand, Radical. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna put the link, bro. That's generic shit, Radical. Just because look at Ramones. I already only buy Levi's when I can find it at a discount. That already has been marked down. Yeah, I mean, don't buy anything from here. Don't buy anything from these people until they pay Haitians what they have to pay them. You're not peasants, you're billionaires. You're freaking billionaires. Stop, scraping pennies like you're a fucking peasant, and pay them what they need to be paid, especially when this is part of Haitian law. Make no mistake, the Haitian parliament in 2009 made the Article 137 that establishes that they have to pay according to inflation. Haiti has been hit with a 20% inflation in this year. 20%, not 7% like us, 20%. 20. So they got to pay. Radical says, hey, if Jordan can wear it, it's name. Oh my God. Oh my God, Radical, stop. Stop. In all honesty, guys, like I said, I try to bring you my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people disagree with my view. That's completely fine. But to be honest, It doesn't matter how you slice it. This is disgusting by these corporations. I see that Jose says, can we know if there are other companies who exploit Haitians to boycott them? Yeah, Nautica, Dockers, Levi's, and Hanes. What's up, bro Tap?
What up? What up?
What up? What up?
How's my sound?
It's good. I love your studio, by the way.
Oh, good looking out. Good looking out.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. If you love Bro Tap Studio, put a number 1 in the chat. Looks
No,
dope.
they like it. They ain't gonna feel it. They're not nerds.
Oh, come on. Of course. We talk to the educated folk out here, okay? We don't deal with idiots.
Oh my god. Yeah, I saw that in the chat. I was like, this one I'm done with Denise, yo.
Look, that all the number.
But yeah, but I managed to catch some of what you were saying, and yeah, the main problem, if I may be so bold as to opine on it, is it's an internal issue. It's not just foreign powers doing it, but what we have is a systemic. The fish rots from the head down, right? So it's a systemic issue in there where everyone's corrupt, right? So it's, for example, I've had family members who started a couple of hotels over there, and we were going to actually employ people. So it was going to be good for everybody. Not only does she get ownership of a franchise, but she also gets to employ the locals. Well, after it's done, right? The hotel's all built up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The gangs claimed ownership of it. And then when the people that she had contact with, the family member, she did it from over here. The people she had contact with over there, she was like, hey, can you go tell the police? The people went, told the police, and the police had them disappear. It's an internal issue.
Yes.
Yeah, like the gangs, they are the police. And if they're not personally the police, their cousin is the police, or their brother, or their brother-in-law. Everyone's corrupt and everyone's connected. They recently kidnapped a pastor. Like, no one's safe. You send foreign aid workers, they kidnap them. You send pastors, they kidnap them. You send dog catchers, they kidnap them.
Oh my God! Everyone gets kidnapped.
Everybody can get it. You know what I mean? And the other thing is, people are constantly saying, "Where's all the aid money going? Where's all the aid money?" You see, you can't fucking help these people. You send aid money. Where does it go? Well, look to your politicians here, the Clintons primarily. And I won't speak too much about that because I still do travel and business there.
Yeah.
And me, see, you guys can speak on it and no repercussions will come to you.
Yeah.
But me as a Haitian, repercussions will come to me. And
absolutely
to me and mine. You know what I mean? So I won't speak too extensively on it. But yeah, that money goes towards the Clintons. We paid in Haiti, we paid for Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Did you guys know that?
Oh my God, I did not know that. I did not know that. And you know what's crazy? She had the audacity to say that, call out people for being grifters. I'm like, you got a job for doing nothing, for just being born into like a privileged family and get all the benefits in the freaking world and call about grifting?
Yeah.
You're in no position to do that.
Sad things. There are a lot of things that I'm thankful for living in the United States. For example, if I wanted to, if I had the mind to, I can go to New York right now and go see. Well, maybe not with the beer bug floating around, but travel restrictions and stuff. But under other circumstances, I could do that. I could go out to see the monument there. The Statue of Liberty. The buildings in downtown Manhattan, the comic book shops or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I was shocked that I asked, my parents the other day, have they seen the fortress over at Haiti? No, they live in the country and then they're not allowed the opportunity to go see certain things. Like certain people own certain roads, right? If you get on there, gangs own this pathway. Gangs another set.
Jesus.
Another gang owns the other pathway. It's really, really messed up. So a lot of times when you have many of these people who are making blanketed statements, why can't Haiti get its act together? Yeah, well, you're not seeing what the internal issues that we're dealing with over there. Also, you're also not seeing the strings that are pulling the things, right? So
Yeah.
there was a book some time ago, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, right? I think I read most of it. I never finished novels or books or anything like that. I'm kind of ADHD, but in that book and in interviews from the people involved, they break down how they destabilize South and Central American countries,
Yeah.
especially Central America. They have a huge hard-on for Central America, and they destabilize all these governments. Every time you see all these coups, it's not those people who want to mess up their own country. And so when these people are fleeing all these coups and these destabilizations, the failure of that country to adequately provide for the people during maybe an earthquake or a hurricane or a monsoon or a tidal wave, that stuff doesn't flout out from out of nowhere. It doesn't flare up from the clouds. That's except for the weather stuff. But you get what I mean. But these people who are critics of it, they're one of the reasons why I get angry. Instead of criticizing, if you're so concerned, right? Maybe like what you were suggesting, right? Maybe go on a boycott or a boycott, right? So, for example, if Gillette is telling you one thing, maybe you go with Bic, right? Reward. You select whoever's doing that stuff, and then you reward their competitor. So I didn't get to catch up on which company is it exactly that is shortchanging the workers. Did they tell
Is
you?
Yeah, it's Haynes, Levi's, Dockers, and Nautica.
Look at that.
Yeah, so those are the companies not to buy from.
Yeah.
On to and it's something we should start like a trend, like uh boycott these people until Haitians are paid their $15.
Yeah.
Period.
And the thing is, a lot of people, the boycotts don't work. Yeah, boycotts work. You could go ahead and ask the Montgomery bus company if boycott. But what you have to do when you boycott, you can't just withhold your money. You have to tell them why you're withholding your money. If you just withhold your money, they figure, oh, it's just a bad time in the economy. No, 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 no. So, for example, if you're going to boycott Hanes, Levi, and those other brands,
Dockers and Nautica.
Dockers, Nautica, Levi, and Hanes, what you do is you find out who their direct competitor is, and then you reward their competitor. And all of these companies are now on social media. When you reward their competitor, you tag them in it. You tag their ass in it. You guys love tweeting about Amara La Negra and all these other influencers. How about you start tweeting for something that matters, right? Instead of people doing ratchet stuff. Yeah. Tweet about something that matters. So when you buy from the direct competitor to Hanes, you tag them. You take a picture with a selfie with your shit, and then you tag them in it. This is why I no longer buy Hanes. I no longer fuck with Hanes because they're not paying people in this particular country what they earned. I rocks with True Religion or
New Balance on there. That's right.
Or New Religion or Adidas or whatever. Right?
Buy Skims. If you're a woman, buy Skims. Buy Skims. And if you are a male, buy New Balance. At the end of the day, you're gonna get a more flowy, better fit underwear.
Here's something else, right? You guys may not be nerds, but you guys need to take some cues from the nerd community. We've made these people pay. People, as in these companies, we've made them pay a lot for every time they pull off some fuckery. So, for example, Gillette made a commercial about 2 or 3 years ago where they called every man who uses Gillette toxically masculine. some dude that there was a montage showing like some dude who was coming out of pizzeria, and he saw Shorty, and he's like, whoa. And then some other dude put his whole hand on dude's chest like, hey bro, don't be toxic, she doesn't want to talk to anyone. Like, what? And so we, as purchasers of Gillette's product, we not only boycotted them, we told them on social media, this is why we're buying Bic from now on, this is why we're buying, et cetera, et cetera. And do you know they removed that commercial? Now you have to find that commercial through third-hand sources. They removed that commercial and replaced it with 2 other commercials that praised men instead of saying that they're toxic and stuff like that. So let's take cues from the nerd community. You can do it too, and not only with Haiti, but with anything where you're suffering injustices, economic injustices.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people were like the union workers from Amazon. They wanted to unionize. Amazon was not letting them. I'm like, you can bankrupt and put Jeff Bezos into like a very tough situation if you withhold your money from Amazon and trash Amazon on social media for 90 days. That's 3 months. Purchase from somewhere else, because first you're gonna take their influx of money, and we all know, like, if you know anything about like stock market and reinvestment and all this stuff, you know that Amazon doesn't make a profit. Amazon expands. And obviously, when you take their expansion money, you're going to limit their grip. And second, you're going to devalue their stock. That's something that no company wants, no company likes, and they're more willing to make changes. So that's something that we must learn as consumers, how to do better. You might love a product, but you can live without that product for 30 to 60 days. Okay.
People are pretending it's oxygen that these companies are selling. They're not selling oxygen. They're not selling water.
Blumund says, look at Blumund says, purchase from where? Amazon delivers the next day right at your door. Well, you have, that is true, but you have Instacart, you have DoorDash, you have in certain areas Postmates, Uber Eats. They deliver within 2 hours. Even Walmart, if you're going to purchase things from Walmart, Walmart delivers literally the next day. Literally the next day. Even sometimes if you order in the morning, they will deliver by the end of the day.
In fact, I would go maybe even one step further, Blood Moon, and ask, are there local competitors who are sprouting up to challenge, the Amazons and even the Uber Eats, right? There are local businesses starting all over the place.
Yeah, maybe absolutely.
Support some of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see also that Blood Moon says the U.S. military needs to go there and stop them. That's the only option, in my opinion. Look, this is my thing. The problem with the U.S. military going places, I want people to look at Syria, look at Yemen. That's what the U.S. military does. The military, you know what? Don't even look that further. The U.S. military has invaded Haiti in the past. Just look at the boogeyman era. I'm not going to say any further because I don't want my channel flagged. I'm still a spec in YouTube. But look up and read about the boogeyman era in Haiti. There was U.S. military involvement. It did not end well. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Blood Moon. Have you ever had that mother-in-law? I don't know. It's maybe it's December 2021, right? She comes over to visit. She's supposed to stay until, I don't know, till Christmas, right? And it's February 2022. She's still there. That's what it is when you invite the U.S. anywhere, the U.S. military, not the U.S. military anywhere. They stay until they want to leave. And when they're there, just like the mother-in-law, they start rearranging stuff in your house. Why are the curtains like that? Can you even breathe in here? You know this milk's gone bad? They start going through your fridge, right? it's you don't want to just invite the U.S. military to come in, and once they come in there, also one of the things they do is they start training people on how to do military stuff, like paramilitary stuff, and you don't want your police to be paramilitarily trained. I'm always shocked, especially here in the U.S., as to why we tolerate these people in blue uniforms, not military people, not like they're in army fatigues, but cops to be out here with M4s and M16s and saw machine guns, all kind. Like, are you a military or are you a police force, right? So once you have the U.S. military anywhere, they start teaching people how to harm each other. Like they have advisors, what they call advisors, right? They're usually SEALs or Rangers and stuff like that. Guys who went through special forces training. And then what they do is they impart maybe even a quarter of what they learned onto the locals. And the locals then turn around and use it in their policing, which that stuff does not belong in your police force. But that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, if we really want to get sexy, is they start being assassins. They start being gangsters. They start being cartels with
Absolutely.
with military training. We don't want that. That's not no no thank you.
Yeah, it's like Ramon says over here. That's what I'm trying to tell Blood Moon. She believes in a Hollywood version of the military.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, wait till you invite the military in, and they don't just bring their troops; they bring their drones. How about
Yeah,
that?
they bring a mess. They're like messy.
And for those of you who are thinking Trump, no, Trump didn't really, as far as I know, he's the first president who didn't really even start a war while he was in office. That's one,
Yeah,
and
he was anti-war actually.
and he didn't bomb civilians, to my knowledge. He bombed that one guy. That
He killed, I believe, Soleimani.
Yeah, Soleimani, but not civilians. There's a reason why we had a nickname in our neighborhood for Barack. We called him Obama.
Yeah, he ran out of bombs. That's something people don't know outside of the US. For the first time in history, Obama was the first president that bombarded Syria, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. He bombarded so much that we ran out of bombs.
Yeah,
Just imagine the amount of kids, civilians. You have kids in Syria. I just watched a documentary like a year ago. It's called Cries from Syria. Kids that their parents died in all these bombardings that the military was doing over there to quote unquote help Syria.
wow,
These kids were left by themselves to the point that they had to eat leaves to feed themselves. And we're talking about kids 9 years and younger. And they were kids. There was even a kid that washed up, I think, in Greece, 2 years old, dead
Jesus,
from Syria. It's a gruesome look at America from the outside looking in. It's so sad. It's super sad.
wow. The main problem, I think, even though I'm not as financially literate as you and your viewers are, but it seems to me that the problem can be totally solved if we kind of like do our part over here to um, exactly what you suggested with the boycotts and the way that we formulated it. Make sure they know why you're not buying and you're buying from the competitor, but then also pressure politicians to speak to the politicians over there to restructure that place, because that, again, there are a lot of good that we can do, but then what good does it do if you send $1 there, and let's say the Clintons or Clinton Foundation rather, and some other people take 80 cents of it, and the remaining 20 cents, the corrupt government officials, they grease each other's palms with like 10 cents from the remaining 20. And then the
Yeah.
10 cents that remains, the gangsters swoop in and they take like 8 cents, and 2 cents are left for the people.
That's
So,
exactly what's happening during the time where I was there. We were only, as medical cadets, we were only allowed to stay for 3 days if we donated our food.
wow.
So a lot of us donated our food, so we could only stay for 3 days. But to be honest with you, um a lot of the help we were okay that we were dispatched, like the day I was dispatched from Puerto Rico, we were dispatched with 150 containers. Only 6 containers made it to where we were located,
Yeah.
and most of them were already ransacked, so we didn't had anything to give the people. We were like, where's all the medicine, where's all the water, where's all the canned food? So you had no other resource but to, like, through a fence, give your food to people that were in the fence asking for food and water, because it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
Listen, I don't like to post my L's, and that's why I don't usually talk about this. But me and a business buddy, we used to do stuff like dumpster diving, right? And it's
Mhm.
not as gutter or ghetto as you think it is. Dumpster diving. So if you work for a company that moves things, especially on a corporate level, people don't know this, but there are a lot of fresh, maybe a computer that's been used like maybe one week or 2 weeks. But because they have to replace a surplus, right? They have
Mhm.
to replace a surplus, they have to get rid of that stuff. And moving companies who get rid of that stuff, they don't care what we do with it, right? In
Yeah.
fact, they recommend that we shred it. But if we take it, as long as they don't have to see it anymore, and then the people who are bringing in the new surplus don't have to see it, they're fine. So we managed to stockpile so many laptops, and we sent it. Maybe one laptop made it over there. Currently, some gangster's kid has all these laptops and they're doing stuff with it. And the police, chief, all his family members got laptops. That's who you're funding, right? So you want to talk to the politicians and stuff like that. You don't. You want to speak to. Oh, someone else is in. I'm taking up
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
time.
Jose is here. No, go, keep going. Keep going.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so you want to speak to the people for the infrastructure. The infrastructure is what's sucking up all the resources. When you send resources over there, and you're shocked. Like, I spent. There are people during the earthquake. I think it was 2010. During the earthquake, I donated my services to graphic places
Mhm.
who were doing awareness for it, and to places who were doing bottling companies who were rebranding, right? So I designed their labels and stuff like that. We sent it over there. But there were people like that bottling company who were like sending water. They're like, why is it, we have a problem? They're saying they didn't receive the water. And by the time they received the water was tepid. Like they received it after the fact. So where did that water go, and why did it sit in those containers like seemingly forever?
Hmm.
It's wow. The infrastructure is the problem, and the other thing is self hatred. And when Haitians take a look at this live stream, they may not be too happy with me, but self hatred has a lot to do with it. How can you be in a nation and you're in a position of power, like your police chief or commissioner, and you don't look out for the people? Instead, you line your pockets and you're perfectly happy. You came in the door when you were elected, if you're elected, you came in the door with the people, quote unquote, eating mud cookies. And you're perfectly happy after 15, 20 years of your tenure, leaving with the people eating cookies.
Yeah.
It's,
You
it's
didn't do any change. You
You
didn't do
hate
any
yourself.
change.
Yeah, like you may have medicated, you may have self medicated yourself with all the money that they greased your palm with, but deep down you hate yourself and you hate your people. You know what I mean? But Jose, is Jose ready?
Yeah, I think he's ready. Jose, you can unmute yourself.
First of all, good evening, guys.
Good
How's everybody
evening.
tonight? Um, I have to admit, this is very fascinating. This whole situation with Haiti, and it's crazy that they're denying these people $15 a day. Because when you think about it, in a 9 hour day, that's $1.67 an hour. And that's the crazy part. And a company like this company that makes billions of dollars, that's going to deprive them of $15 a day. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is insane, and it is like I said, it's disgusting because this is a company that makes one of the companies makes $5 billion per year, but they have no money to pay literally $15 per day to their workers.
I'd like to pose a question. Can we start boycotting as of this week?
Yeah, I started boycotting already. Like I said, MK is not getting any Fruit of the Loom, Hanes, Levi's, no Dockers, no freaking Nautica, nothing that is related to this. I'd rather buy New Balance underwear and undershirts and whatever than to support this because I am beyond disgusted.
Well, in my case, since let's keep it real, I'm too big, I'm too fat for any of their clothing line. It's going to be very easy for me to boycott. But but I'm going to try to encourage others in my circles to do the same. And what I would like to do, if I have your permission, just mention this on my platform that we should boycott this company as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. This video, I know I usually do not use my content without permission. This video you can use.
Okay, so I can share, without any fear of getting a copyright strike.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
help yourself, to whatever you want out of this video, because like I said, this is something that it's repetitive. It's something that every time these people demand livable wages, and it's not like they're asking for riches, they're asking for literally measly $15 per day. That's what the average American makes an hour. And
Um,
none of the single products of this company is $15 today.
um, if you don't mind me expressing an opinion,
Yeah, go ahead.
this reminds me of the situation in the 19th century in the United States, where the big corporations were paying basically slave wages, and then you have unions that were fighting for just something like a 9-hour workday. I mean, it's like it's history repeating itself. And the one thing, you know, if we fail to learn from history, we will be repeated. First of all, I just want to say shout out to MK. It's been a while since I've heard from him.
Yeah, I know. We've been on our week of love, okay? And our weekend of love. I don't know, we love Valentine's Day. So we take it to the next level. We made a whole weekend of love, and then we had the whole week. It was something very special. I don't know why I even restarted the channel's season in February, because it's one of the busiest months that I have, personally, and some not even professionally, but more like personally. But we are back, okay? And like
Okay.
I said, I know it's been dry. I know it's been drier than a white woman's chicken without me. I know. I am back.
Well, I have to confess, I have not been following you on Instagram as much. It's just that I have been dealing with some personal situations in my life.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it backstage. Um,
Actually, I prefer if we can talk about on the on the telephone, if you don't mind.
yeah, we'll talk about it later. Don't worry about it. But
Okay.
guys, I'm gonna wrap up this whole Haiti situation because I have further news to share. Don't go anywhere because I'm gonna share it while you guys are here. But I'm gonna mute you guys for a minute. But I want to share something on a different sector because I know I share something that it disgusts most of the people, and we're not talking about it enough. But I want to end on a high note or something that's more like on the funny side. So, what am I talking about? Let's find out. Well, guys, as you may know, there is something that many people in Latin America is talking about and has been raving for over a week, and that is former, now known as Farruko, now known as Carlos, has retired from reggaeton music. Farruko announces his retirement, and turns his latest show into a Sunday service. Now, I know a lot of you guys may know Farruko for his notorious song called Pepas, which basically talks about partying while on pills. A lot of people enjoy this song. I love it. I learned it. I taught it even to MK, even though he doesn't understand what he's singing. And it's better to keep it that way. But because the song literally talks about being on pills while partying. But the reggaeton singer actually is on his 167 tour, and after corrupting the youth's mind with his music that we love so much, now he follows into the footsteps of Vico C, Hector el Father, and Julio Voltio, and turns into a Christian in the middle of his fucking tour. So all the people that pay to go watch and dance and rave during his concert is now getting a church service. Talk about entrapment, guys. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say this as a Puerto Rican, I think Ramon can understand what I'm saying. As a Puerto Rican, we come from a very conservative, Christian like, God centric culture where a lot of the views that the world has, we do not share simply because they're not according to God. In my opinion, of course, that comes from colonization, among other things, and all the religion imposed on us by force. So, of course, we still carry on those conservative views when it comes to religion. So Farruko, now known as Carlos, is literally doing his concerts, and he doesn't sing the parts of his songs that have profanity, and people are like asking for refunds and stuff, and he's saying, at first he said that he was gonna issue full refunds for people that did not want to listen to him preach, because a lot of people were like, well, if I want to listen to a service, I can go to a church for free. I don't have to pay $260 to listen to you preaching on a reggaeton concert where I want to just dance with my girlfriend and grind against her booty. You know, like, you don't do that. See that Brotev is cracking up. But in all honesty, that is the most unchristian like thing to do. I don't know if you guys share the same views as I do, but how are you gonna start a fucking Christian path by lying to people? Make that make sense.
Denise.
Come on. I see that Maceo says, eso fue que le dio tremenda nota con las pepas y cogió miedo de la nota tan grande que se dio que ahora se metió evangelicoso. He basically said that because he had such a high note he was higher than a kite on his pills that he got scared. Now he is a Christian. Look, I know a lot of people in the music industry that has done this whole shift because they were quote unquote called into a new power or this new path. And I'm going to say it how it is, okay? In the music industry, people don't know that regular music sells less than gospel music. Gospel music is such a huge machine that generates close to $50 billion per year because it's music that is connected to hope and feelings. Those are two high emotions that people are desperate to feel, so that they actually make more money than regular musicians, than regular artists or performers. So, of course, that's the reason why you see that these people are adopting this quote unquote humble path. We saw it with Kanye West. We saw it with Hector el Father. We saw it with all these people. And don't give me that crap that Kanye West did not turn into a fucking billionaire now that he is into the gospel hustle. But guys, what do you guys think about this whole thing with Farruko now announcing his stupid ass retirement into the gospel sector as a hypocrite, lying to people in the middle of his 167 tour. Now, I want to hear first from Jose, then from Bro Tep. What do you think, Jose, about this?
Well, as the only Christian on the panel, okay. Of course, I'm always encouraged when people have a conversion, so to speak. I have a huge problem when there's deception involved, because then that means that the conversion was not sincere. Now, I do not know this person, so I'm not in a position to say yay or nay. But the fact of the matter is, if I was in his position and I actually became born again, what I would do is I will return, as a matter of principle, all the proceeds from the ticket sales that was generated, and state the reason why is that I became born again, and I'm not going to use deception. I'm going to live the life that I have found. So the fact that there's deception involved, that troubles me, both as a Latino and as a Christian.
Yeah, basically, he look, he literally in the middle of the concert broke down after singing a few of his songs. He's like, "Oh, I feel the calling right now. Right now, I have to convert. Okay, it's right now in the middle of the concert. I'm not gonna continue this." And he started preaching to people that he ruined his life, he's ruined his relationship with a woman that loved him, and he was not gonna continue singing the songs that people paid him to sing to them. They wanted to do what Johnny Mills said, bump and grind. And now he's not refunding Chet, Ramon, by the way. He's not refunding anyone. He said that he's going to perform and everything whatsoever. And a lot of people are doing some media makeup for him, saying that his concert is majestic. A lot of people are complaining. A lot of people are freaking complaining that, now you recorded this song with me a month ago and I convinced my record label to collaborate with you. Where the fuck are you? And you know what he responded? He said, well, I'm going to abide by it, but we're going to have to record a new song with a positive message. So fuck your grind. You have to do whatever the hell I want because now I'm a Christian. Now I want to hear from Brotep. Brotep, what do you think about Farruko converting into this new Christian person?
I think we have to take a look at those contracts. Usually, it's something. First of all, that's real sus. In the middle of the no, you planned that out, bro. I feel the calling right now. Yeah, no, you planned all that out. And two, take a look at those contracts, because whether it's Prince suddenly not being happy with his birth name or with his stage name even, or if it's what's that girl Kesha, who's suddenly accusing someone of the R word when there's no record of it and no proof or anything like that. A lot of times these people are trying to get out of contracts or there's something behind the scenes they're running from. Yeah, that's usually most of the times the root cause of these people making a turnaround like that. That's real sus, man. Yeah. It's a grift. It's a grift. And there are a lot of artists who have been making this religious heel turn for Mace way back in the day, right? Mace made a heel turn. Then he came back, right, to make some more money with Bad Boy. Then he went back to church. Craig Mack went to church, then he died under mysterious circumstances. One of these other guys converted to Islam, of all things. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah, look at what Johnny Mills said. He said that reminds me of Al Green that went from a soul singer to gospel. Yeah, there's no way, and that's something that I'm going to say. There is no way in hell. Look, reggaeton, the way that is danced, is called perreo. Okay, that is the way that is danced. By perreo, that is doggy style. That's how you dance that music. How are
Jesus.
you gonna think of God when you are grinding yourself against a man, or you're grinding against your girlfriend's booty?
Um,
That doesn't inspire adoration.
uh,
Like, what
guys,
the-
you're not gonna believe this, but this actually, believe it or not, this actually Christian reggaeton.
yeah, I know there
I mean,
And
is.
that's
it's
Christian
like
everything.
no, okay, now it's like
Dude, that's
it
Christian metal.
boggles my mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
look, if there's Christian heavy metal music, there's Christian everything. There's Christian metal, Christian rap, Christian reggaeton. Obviously, there's Christian reggae, right? So, and as far as Al Green, he's just going back home. A lot of these soul singers that church trained anyway. That's why at the inception of rock and roll, a lot of churches were very disappointed that these artists were coming out because these artists were singing in church. That's why they learned how to play instruments. Black people weren't allowed to go to school to learn guitar and violin. The fuck y'all talking about? They learned all that shit in church. In fact, there's a lady called Tharp something. Was it Tharp? I forgot what her name was, but she was doing all that Elvis stuff, playing, dancing with the guitar, doing all those tricks way before Elvis, way before. So what's dude's name?
Mick Jagger.
Way before Mick Jagger. We're talking black and white video. This lady was doing that stuff, and she was in church. It's the church has been training these musicians for a long time. So Al Green is just going back home, right? But the rest of these guys, it's real sus, especially with this dude in the middle of his show. So what? Like in the middle of that Perrero song, he was
Yeah.
like,
He felt the calling.
feel the yeah.
I feel the
Feel the
Lord. I
Lord.
feel the calling. And you know what's insane? What bugs me about this, and I'm gonna just put it out there. We're not talking about, you know, Daddy Yankee turning into Christian. Daddy Yankee has one of the most cleanest reggaeton career. We're not talking about Wisin and Yandel going into Christianhood. That, we're not talking about Divino turning into a Christian. We're talking about the people that generated the most graphic and explicit music. Hector el Father literally rapped and sang about killing people, about declaring war on people, about dead men walking dudes, about starting a drug war, about having explicit sex in the nightclubs and all this stuff. And after all the youth was corrupted, he failed the calling. But what he failed to say is that he had a federal case when he had to report on Angelo Millones. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. And
That's
when he
real
was
stuff.
called to
Yeah.
that, he turned into a Christian. Julio Voltio talking about anal sex in his music. But then all of a sudden, he felt the calling to turn into a Christian. Miss me with the bull crap.
um,
Okay.
but you know what? What happens is you have certain individuals when they get into like in some sort of a major crisis, out of left field, they discover God. And then when everything is okay and everything is so-called back to normal, they put God in the back pocket and then they just carry on their merry way and they don't remember God until they're in crisis mode. So I look, be be a pagan or be a Christian. Do not try to be both because you're going to do a crappy job to try to do both.
I think they're going to stay a Christian. I One of the movies that I love the most about Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale is called The Prestige. I don't know if you guys have watched that movie, but in The Prestige, basically, these are two illusionists that go head to head for their tricks and whatnot. And in that movie, there is an Asian dude that had a trick about having a fishbowl appear out of nowhere in the middle of his show. And Christian Bale's character is explaining to Hugh Jackman's character that he sacrificed walking as a person that limps for the rest of his life in public just to be able to hold between his knees a fishbowl. And that is the sacrifice that the illusionists have to make in order to make an illusion be realistic. So it's the same thing that we're seeing right now. The entertainers of today were the illusionists of the past. They're going to sacrifice a life of bling bling and a life of singing about drugs and whatnot in order to appear to the masses that follow them as this born again Christian, which is one of the most hypocritical turns that musicians take. And I fucking hate it because, like I said, it's never that Yankee that sees the light. It's always the crappiest, dirtiest, most explicit motherfuckers like Kanye West, Hector El Father, Julio Voltio, and now Farruko that quote unquote find the light.
Well, as the only Christian on the panel, I mean, I have, like I said, I have mixed feelings about this as well. And my thing is this: if you're truly going to be born again, be born again in its entirety. And what this person should have done is just refunded everybody's money and to simply say, "I'm sorry, I'm a Christian now." And you know, and brought up a very interesting point, which was, what about all those contracts that he signed? Because if he does not honor those contracts, he could be sued.
Yeah, but he's gonna honor them with positive music. That's what he said. He basically said farewell with a big fuck you to everybody.
Yeah, but the question is the terminology of the contract itself. What is, if there's such that he cannot change his content? So therefore, by producing Christian music, he could be violating the terms of the contract and he could be sued.
I don't think he cares, Jose. He believes God will save him.
Okay, well, you know what? Okay, I believe God will save me too, but God gave me common sense.
Well, we'll just leave it there. But in all honesty, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I think that Farruko is a fucking hypocrite. I don't believe in his conversion. I think this is something that has been played already many, many, many times, and we are not fools. So I'm gonna start by Jose, final statements, and then Bro Tap.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. As far as Farouk's conversion is concerned, only time will tell whether it's sincere or it is just BS. If you don't mind, I'd just like to plug my channel a little bit.
Go ahead.
Common sense. Actually, I have started doing interviews. So I already interviewed one person last week, and the next person that I've scheduled the interview is Denise herself.
Absolutely. I will be there Wednesday.
And I also emailed you the questions, so therefore there'll be no surprises. But you know me, I am not going to do anything, crazy. If you saw my interview with K Fit now, you see how I conducted myself. So basically, so you don't have to worry about me about any shenanigans and whatnot.
No problem. Well, Jose,
yes, I'm sorry. And of course, I gotta close with the new saying. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future.
Oh, look at that. Thank you so much, Jose. I'm going to put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Now, Bro Tep, final thoughts on today's stream.
Right. Thoughts on Farouk? That's a grift. Just that's my word on that. That's my final word on that. It's a grift. We just have to dig to find out what the intention is, or the source of it is, if they were coming after him for something or whatever. But it's a grift. The other topic, I'm not going to opine on what those companies are doing because that's them. But as far as you people who are watching, whenever you think of donation, people think of money. You don't necessarily have to do that. Whatever it is that you do, you have to imagine that Haiti and a lot of these other quote unquote third world countries, especially the black and brown ones, they're the new Wild West. You can go there and make your fortune. Go ahead and start a business there and run your business properly, right? Scooters. A lot of that place, roads are being built. People need to get around. So you start a scooter business or whatever. If you do IT, maybe you send some computers or you start classes on teaching people how to use computers, how to take computers apart and put them back together. In fact, those things are more valuable than actually sending money, because if you send money, you're basically paying gangs. So that's my 2 cents on that. But great being on the show again, and I'm glad you're back. And everyone be well in these crazy times.
Everyone be well. Absolutely. Thank you, Brotep, for showing up. Love your studio. We'll
Oh, thank
keep on talking. I'll put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. Guys, that has been all for today. I went into overtime for y'all because I know I've been very, very absent. So I hope that if you're watching this now or on the replay, hit that bell for notifications so that you don't miss any episode of Latin Explaining with Denise. I will be back tomorrow with more news and other events that happen not only in Latin America, but also with our Latin diaspora, guys. That has been all for today. But before I go, I want to remind you guys that every Thursday, starting this Thursday, we're going to have In a World That's Always Changing. Things are always happening and now moves in a faster pace. Media keeps discarding people's hypothetical conclusions for events we don't fully understand. No one wants to talk about it. Our politicians keep pouring their lies and some people believe them. Where do we go for answers? Are these just mere conspiracies? And if so, are they true? Let's find out together. Join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Time to find the truth on Conspiracy Thursdays here on Latin Explaining with Denise. See you there. Guys, this is going to be explosive. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you very much for tuning in. And until the next time, bye, guys. Peace.